This video is going to introduce ratios and how we work with them. So a ratio compares two quantities that have the same unit. The fact that they have to have the same unit is extremely important. For example, we can compare 7 feet to 12 feet, or $8 to $3, or 23 ounces to 6 ounces. Okay? All ratios can be written in 3 different ways. You can use the word to, you can use a colon, or we can use a fraction bar. There's 3 ways, and so this one we wrote here, 7 feet to 12 feet, this can be written as 7 colon 12, and it can also be written as 7 over 12. Same with this one. $8 to $3 can be written as 8 colon 3, or it can be written as 8 over 3. Last one, 23 ounces to 6 ounces is the same as 23 colon 6, or it can be written as 23 over 6. Note that none of these fractions were able to be reduced. But that's the first thing we have to remember. Always reduce the ratios as much as possible. Okay, that's the first thing. I want you guys to also notice that the units are not in the answer anymore. Notice that I didn't write feet for the other ones for the top one. That's because if you have 7 feet over 12 feet, you can think of the feet as canceling each other out. So you're just left with 7 twelfths. So note 2 is a ratio should not have units at the end, because you're always going to be able to cancel them. You might ask, what if the ratios don't have the same units? What if there's different units on the top and the bottom? Well, then it's not called a ratio, it's actually called a rate, and there's a different way that we deal with those. The units actually don't go away for those problems. Okay, so the fraction notation is the one that we're going to use the most. And so for these problems I want to try, the instructions are going to be to write the following ratios as a fraction in lowest terms. Okay, so problem 1. I'm going to start off pretty simple. 25 to 15. Well, we know that this is equal to 25 over 15. But then we have to reduce. So we can actually reduce by canceling out a 5 on both of them. So if I divide both by 5, I end up with 5 over 3. And that's how I write my answer, just like a fraction. Okay? Yes, fractions and ratios are very similar to one another. Let's try another one. Let's try making it a little bit trickier. What if we have $3.60 to $1.60? Remember now, the units cancel, and so what you end up with is 3.60 over 1.60. Well, this is the same as 3.6 over 1.6, because the zeros don't really matter when they come after a decimal. Let's go ahead and multiply top and bottom by 10 to move the decimal over. This actually gives us 36 over 16. And finally, we can reduce this, right? If we divide the top by 4, and the bottom as well, we end up with 9/4. And this is going to be the answer. Alright, very important to remember that when you're trying to get rid of decimals, you have to multiply the top and bottom by the same thing. Let's try another one. Let's try a similar one to the one we just did, just to make sure we understand. 2.4 feet to 3.25 feet. It's going to be a little bit tougher. First, notice that the feet are going to cancel, so we just have 2.4 over 3.25. So the bottom one has 2 decimal places, so I'm going to have to multiply both of them by 100. This is going to give me 240 on the top, and on the bottom 325. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both of these by 5. 240 divided by 5 using my calculator here is equal to 48 on the top, and 325 divided by 5 is equal to 65. So the answer is 48 over 65. Let's do one more. This one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to draw some marbles. Let's just pretend that these are marbles. And let's pretend that we have some black marbles and some white marbles. Okay, so this is what we have. And let's go ahead and ask a couple of questions. So this is going to be number 4, by the way. Part A. Find the ratio of black marbles to white marbles. Well, we just count the black marbles. There's 4 black marbles. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white marbles, so it's 4 over 8. Which is the same as 1/2 if we reduce it, right? Well, 1/2 would be the answer. Okay, let's ask one more question with the same picture. Okay. I'm going to write this here very small. Let's find the ratio of black marbles to total marbles. Now you have to be careful because the black marbles, we know there's 4 of them. But the total marbles, now we have to count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's actually 4 over 12, which reduces to 1/3. That is it for the examples. I hope that this was useful. Thanks for watching.